Greetings, Stoic warriors. We live in a world where people are constantly proving something, proving they're right, proving they're worthy. They explain, over-explain, sometimes even plead just to be seen. But a Stoic stands apart. A Stoic doesn't chase attention or crave validation. A Stoic doesn't justify themselves to the world, for they know silence holds power. When hurt, rejected, or misunderstood, most people rush to fix it. They chase, they explain, hoping to make others understand. That's weakness disguised as courage. You call someone, they don't answer. You text again, then again, pouring your heart into a long message, hoping they'll see your worth. But the truth is, the more you explain or plead, the more power you give away. That's not Stoic. Masters like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus wielded the strength of silence. They didn't stay silent out of indifference. But because they understood this, the more you chase what's beyond your control, the less control you have. Epictetus said, when you chase attention or beg for understanding, you're handing over your power. You're saying, my peace depends on your response. That's not peace, it's a cage. True strength is walking away without a word when disrespected, not out of pride, but because your dignity doesn't need to shout. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain. It quietly lets go. This silence isn't empty. It's discipline, self-respect, an inner strength that says, I don't need your validation to hear my own worth. This silence unnerves others, because when you don't react, they lose the control they thought they had. Today, let's explore the kind of silence that builds strength, not weakness. A silence that makes others wonder what's changed. A silence where your absence speaks louder than any message you could send. We'll unpack 6 profound truths, 6 reasons why silence is a Stoic superpower and why those who practice it never chase, plead, or over-explain. If you're tired of giving too much, feeling misunderstood, or chasing those who've walked away, this is your moment to shift. Let this script be the reminder you didn't know you needed. Before we dive into the first point, do me a small favor like this video. If it resonates with you, share your thoughts and affirmations in the comments as you watch. Pass this along to someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more Stoic growth content. Don't skip any part of this video. One idea, one truth, could change how you live forever. I want you to leave this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my strength. First, silence makes others feel your absence, not just hear your words. Have you noticed this? When you stop explaining or chasing, people start to reflect. That's the paradox of silence. It doesn't push, it pulls. Think back to a time you were hurt. Maybe someone ignored you, disrespected you, or gave you the cold shoulder. Your instinct screamed, say something, fight back, defend your worth. But here's the truth: the more you talk, the less they listen. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you explain, the less they value your words. When you choose silence, they suddenly notice your absence more than your presence. As Elbert Hubbard said, he who does not understand your silence will probably not understand your words. Stoics knew this centuries ago. Silence unsettles in a way noise never can. By staying quiet instead of pleading, you force others to face their actions. Silence acts like a mirror. It says, I see how you've treated me, but I value myself enough not to explain. This silence isn't ego, it's clarity. You realize that if they cared, they'd ask. If they respected you, they'd reach out. If they were emotionally mature, they wouldn't need a long explanation to see your worth. So, you choose silence. In that silence, you reclaim the power you once gave away. You stop wasting energy trying to be understood by those who don't even understand themselves. You stop trying to heal through words, because some wounds only heal in quiet. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Your silence will stir them, unsettle them. They'll wonder, why aren't they reacting? Why no response? Have they stopped caring? That's when the power shifts. Because silence speaks a truth they can't ignore. You no longer owe them an explanation. Second, silence lets you hear the truth more clearly. The world is noisy, but silence helps you listen not to others, but to yourself. In moments of pain, betrayal, or confusion, most people turn outward for answers. They call friends, scroll endlessly online, or confront those who hurt them, hoping a conversation will fix everything. But a Stoic takes a different path. They stay silent, not because they don't feel the pain, but because they know the real answers come from reflection, not noise. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Silence calms the mind, letting truth rise. In that calm, you hear truths like, "They never truly respected me, I just didn't want to see it," or, "I'm not angry they left, I'm angry I stayed too long," or, "I don't need closure, I need peace." These insights don't come through texts, they emerge in the quiet moments when you stop explaining and start listening. Silence creates space to separate your emotions from your worth. When you're hurt, emotions scream. Chase them, explain yourself, prove your value, but in silence, your inner worth whispers. Protect your dignity, guard your peace. Let them go. That's why Stoics don't react rashly or decide in anger. They cherish a sacred pause before the storm. Society tells us to speak up, share our feelings. Never let disrespect slide. But respect isn't won by shouting louder. It's earned by staying calm in silence while others drown in noise. The quieter you are, the more others reveal their true selves. You don't need to ask, do they care? Their actions will answer. You don't need to beg for clarity, the truth shines in your silence. Most importantly, you stop reacting impulsively to life and start responding with purpose. Silence isn't passive, it's focused, intentional. A gateway to inner wisdom most never reach. When you're confused, overwhelmed, or emotionally clouded, don't act. Be still. The answers aren't out there, they're within, and you'll hear them in silence. Third, begging for closure is a betrayal of yourself. Let's face a hard truth. Chasing closure often brings more pain, not peace. We all crave it, that final talk, that heartfelt conversation to make things whole. But here's the reality. If someone truly cared, you wouldn't need to beg for closure. They'd offer it with respect. If they don't, your silence becomes the answer. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This applies because when you stop chasing closure and start living your values, you no longer need others to validate your pain. Your pain is real, but needing them to explain why they hurt you hands them control over your healing. The cycle goes like this. They hurt you. You demand answers. They respond with coldness or avoidance. You feel worse. And it repeats. True closure isn't something they give you, it's what you give yourself when you choose silence and walk away. It's easy to think, if I tell them how I feel, if I explain my side, if I have that final talk, things will resolve. But you're pleading with someone who chose to hurt you, who chose their path. You're exhausting yourself hoping they'll fix your broken expectations. That's not closure, it's self-betrayal. Stoics know emotions can cloud judgment, especially when ego creeps in. You want to be seen as good, understood, validated, but chasing that betrays your growth. True closure is accepting that no explanation will make them more respectful, loving, or honest. You stop waiting for a conversation that won't happen. In that acceptance, your power returns. Those who hurt you don't need to understand your worth. You do. Those who leave don't need a goodbye. You can say it without words. Those who disappear don't deserve a second chance. Your silence is their answer. So stop drafting unsent letters or rehearsing the perfect message. Stop seeking closure from those who were never open to begin with. Choose silence, and let it be the space where your self-respect breathes again. Fourth, silence reveals what words hide. When you stay quiet, masks fall. Words can be beautiful, but deceptive people say what sounds right, what they think you want to hear. They offer explanations, justifications, apologies, but silence can't lie. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say." Stoics judge people not by apologies but by consistent actions. The best way to see someone's true character is to stop talking and watch. Silence isn't passive, it's profound observation. When you stop explaining yourself, you give others the chance to show who they really are. And they will. Those who respect you will feel your presence and reach out sincerely. Those who used you will vanish because they never valued you to begin with. Manipulators will get angry or confused, not because you're wrong, but because they've lost control. Words can create illusions. Silence reveals reality. You don't need to confront or challenge them. Just withdraw your words and observe. See who checks in when you're quiet, who disappears when you stop giving, who gets upset when they can't provoke you. That's the truth. Sometimes, silence stings more than 1,000 arguments. People can dismiss your words, but they can't deny your absence. They can argue with your opinions, but not with your stillness. When you stay silent, you stop fueling their illusions or playing their emotional games. You stop pretending their words outweigh their actions. This silence brings clarity. You no longer need their explanations for their poor treatment, because their actions, your distance, and your quiet speak volumes. You start trusting patterns over promises, energy over excuses, and what's real over empty words. That's Stoicism, not coldness, but clarity, not distance, but discernment, not apathy, but emotional discipline. The next time someone tries to re-enter your life with words, don't rush to respond. Stay silent, and let the truth speak without words. Fifth, refusing to explain yourself is the ultimate act of confidence. Being misunderstood hurts. We all feel it. You want to defend yourself. Prove you're not what they think. You want to say, "That's not me." But a Stoic doesn't chase external understanding. They seek it within. Why? Because explaining yourself to those with preconceived notions isn't confidence, it's fear of being misjudged. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have no need to speculate about what your neighbor is doing or thinking, unless it's for the common good." Every time you try to convince someone of your worth, kindness, or loyalty, you're wasting precious time and energy on their judgment. That's not strength, it's insecurity. Someone who doesn't explain themselves isn't arrogant, they're at peace. Knowing their intentions are clear, their actions are consistent, their worth doesn't need defending to those unwilling to see it. This detachment isn't easy. You'll be called cold or selfish. You may lose people you once held close. But losing those who never truly saw you isn't a loss, it's harmony. Most people don't want to understand you. They want to control how you're perceived. When your silence disrupts that, they get upset not because you hurt them, but because you stopped playing their game. By refusing to explain, you lead with energy, not excuses. You stop justifying your distance or defending your peace. You simply act. Those who truly belong in your life will understand your silence without needing a script. This rare energy unsettles manipulators and drives away users, but those who stay respect you deeply for not lowering your worth to fit their misconceptions. That's the Stoic silence, calm, unshakable, free of drama. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace. You don't need to convince others your boundaries are valid. Your silence says it all. Sixth, silent detachment is the lesson you teach others. There's unique power in choosing to walk away, not in anger or drama, but in quiet detachment. You don't slam doors or send emotional final texts. You simply step back. In that silence, you teach a lesson no words can match. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This reminds us that real suffering comes when our minds replay the silence. When you stop responding, they're left with their thoughts, their guilt, and the echo of how you treated them. Your detachment says, "I no longer need to prove myself to you." It says, "I won't stay where I'm not valued. My peace is worth more than connection." Most people don't know how to handle this energy. They're used to others reacting, pleading, or fighting for an outcome. But when you choose silence, you step out of their emotional game. You walk away with dignity, and your silence forces them to confront themselves. They expect you to chase, to fight, to return, but you don't. That scares them more than any argument, because they realize they've lost access to your energy. They no longer hold the upper hand. They didn't expect you to truly leave. That's when the lesson begins. People don't learn from your words, they learn from your distance. They don't change when you demand respect. They change when your absence makes them feel what they've lost. And if they don't change, that's okay. The lesson is for you. You learn. Your peace doesn't need anyone's permission. You learn not everyone deserves your explanation. You realize silence isn't just strength, it's healing. By walking away silently, you free yourself from toxic cycles. You stop bleeding in front of those who can't see your pain. You stop explaining storms to people safe in their shelters. Leaving doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value your soul too much to leave it neglected. That's why Stoics don't overreact or chase justice or validation. They let silence speak. You don't need to shout, "I'm done." You just quietly close the chapter. That's true strength, the kind that makes those who thought they controlled you tremble. So don't fear walking away. Leave silently and let them sit in the void where your voice once was. If you've made it this far, Something profound is shifting inside you, a quiet realization, a truth you've always known but may have forgotten over time. You don't need to chase, plead, or explain to be worthy. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to prove your truth to be understood. You don't need to shatter your peace to keep others comfortable. That's the heart of Stoicism, not coldness, but clarity, not abandoning love, but abandoning chaos. Stoics teach us this profound truth. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's refusing to waste energy on what's beneath you. It's the confidence that your presence matters, even when you're gone. There will be moments when emotions urge you to explain, to fight, to prove yourself. But in those moments, remember this: your silence may not win an argument, but it will win your peace. Each time you choose not to react, you build inner strength. Each time you walk away silently, you reinforce your worth. Each time you hold your dignity, you create unshakable power. If there's one thing to carry from this video, it's this: let your silence be your final word, not out of ego or spite, but out of deep, unwavering self-respect. Thank you for watching. If this video touched your heart, hit the like button. Share it with someone ready to grow. Drop your affirmations in the comments. Your voice matters here. And subscribe for more weekly Stoic insights. I want you to leave this final affirmation in the comments. My silence is my final and most powerful word. Let it remind you to stand firm in your quiet strength. Congratulations on reaching this point. You're embracing a Stoic truth that can guide you through life's challenges. Keep practicing silence. It's your strength, your peace, and your power.